Welcome. It is new bike day. It is new bike day, well sort of anyway. It's new Wattbike Atom day. We've been thinking about getting one of these for a while. I use we very loosely because it's mainly me and the Rocket's sort of been on board with it, but no. So if you're looking for a full review, unfortunately we can't give you that, as we've only, well, I've only been on it once. The Rocket has only been on it 30 seconds, probably less than that, probably about 20 seconds. But we'll give you our first impressions on the Wattbike Atom and why we have decided to get this. So if you are interested in the first impressions of a very average cyclist and one professional e-biker, you are in the right place. So we have been looking at a while for a Wattbike Atom, and we got this one, it's second hand. So this is the first generation Wattbike Atom. We got it off Facebook Marketplace and it's hardly used. I mean, it's like good as new. And the main reason we got this is, one, because my pure laziness. I'll put indoor training off like anything. Like, I'd rather do my session outside, but at the same time, the misery of the cold and then sometimes doing it in crap conditions, this was a key point for the Rocket one, innit? Me not traipsing my bike through covered in rubbish. Then we decided to bite the bullet. I am all for making my life as easy as possible. I don't have like hundreds of hours to train. I have a full-time job, so making things as easy as possible made this an absolute winner. So we were looking at like various different bikes, but this one, I've seen other people on YouTube give them great reviews. But I want to just, when it's an indoor session, I don't want to have to faff about taking my wheel off, putting my bike on, dragging it through the house to put it on the trainer. So this is why we've got this bad boy. And secondly, the Rocket also wants to be able to use it, ramp test / FTP to come. You will all be, you're all going to be so excited to see what power the Rocket actually has when she does an FTP test. But it is super easy to change the saddle height on this. I had an Elite Diretto turbo trainer, and the problem with that was we were limited to just my bike could go on it. Obviously the Rocket is strictly an e-biker / Wattbiker now, and we couldn't obviously put her bike on that because of different cassettes. She'd have just banged it in turbo and smashed everyone on Zwift. So it's going to be easy for us to adjust this. It is literally just a case of that. It is idiot proof, even for me and the Rocket, but we're going to mark out where each of our stuff is, and you can do the same with the handlebars, which has been super easy. So it is literally just ease of use and both of us being able to use this now, rather than just me being able to go on the turbo. Do you reckon we could, I don't know if we'll tandem it and try and go on at the same time, will we? No. We're going to have to get two so we can Zwift together.
I don't think we need to go that far.
What? You're going to be a Zwift champion? The Rocket is going to take over the world of Zwift. Also to add, I occasionally do some stupidly long Zwift rides, obviously long for me anyway, and I'm hoping to not get any wear and tear on my bike, and also the stress that's going through the carbon frame. I only have a carbon road bike that was going on my indoor trainer before, so I want to try and limit the stress and damage I was putting through the frame with the Wattbike Atom. And also hopefully not get any wear and tear, sweat all in it and stuff, and components wearing out where I'm just hammering it through the winter. But back to the video. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually super excited to get my arse handed to me on Zwift. The major first impressions, it feels nice to ride. It is a little bit noisy, so we're having this out in the garage gym as opposed to indoors. So it's only when, like, I don't know if you can hear that, but when you stop pedaling, it is quite noisy. It is noisier than I thought it was gonna be. But this little bad boy is an absolute game changer. Having your iPad like right in front of you has been killer. And another thing that I'm getting used to, so it's got electronic gears for like up, down, there. And one thing I am getting used to, this is probably a random one and it won't bother anyone else, but you can't actually see what gear you're in. and I have a habit of looking down and seeing what gear I'm in based on what it should feel like, what it looks like, if that makes sense, as opposed to on this you're given a number, and it's taking some getting used to, like what gear I want to be in and stuff, as opposed to when I've got a cassette I can look down, see what gear I'm in, what gear I want. You sort of can feel it based off what you use outside. So that is taking a while to get used to. But one really nice thing is this bad boy is solid as a rock when you're sprinting. So the rocket's going to be putting down some mad power. It ain't going nowhere when she takes off in a Zwift race. Let's wait for that to quiet down. So this is the noise we were on about. Yeah, so the amount of times when I was on my old Elite Turbo where you've got the wheel under the block on the front, I've had to shout the rocket and been like, can you quickly put the block back under, haven't I? And I've been like trying to do a wheelie while mid-Zwift race or mid-Zwift ride to get the block back under, because I don't know, maybe it was just my technique for sprinting inside. I'm just like ripping the head off it and trying to go attack in a race, and the blooming wheel was coming off the front. So that is a nice thing about this, but predominantly it's just the ease of use. So I've used the bike on Zwift and done a 2-hour ride. The Atom feels super smooth. There is a little bit of a delay when you change gears for it to sort of kick in and feel it, but I mean, it's nothing that you'd notice after a little bit of riding and once you've got used to it. And I suppose I'm sort of used to the gradient changes on Zwift because I had it on my Elite Turbo trainer. It's never going to be exactly like on the road, but there's always going to be a sacrifice with that. It does still feel relatively realistic when you're going up the climbs. I mean, it feels hard. My legs are hurting, so I'll call that realistic. The Wattbike Atom is a fairly big space commitment, but luckily it is going to go into cardio corner, which we now have in the home gym, with the rower and the assault bike, which never really get used. They're just collecting dust. This bad boy is going to get used though. It's actually got a smaller footprint though than the turbo trainer and the bike on it. We tried getting that in the gym before, but we have a squat rack that goes across this part of the gym here because the rocket needs to be a tank and get those big quad muscles for them powerful sprints she's doing. So we didn't have enough space to fit like the turbo, the bike in. Now we have got the space. It's a little bit shorter because you haven't got the bike sticking out as well as the turbo on the back. It feels super solid and robust when we've been on it, doing the 2-hour session the other day. Obviously I need to test it a little bit more. I've got some sessions coming up, indoor ones, that I'm going to crack on this. But we've been able to adjust the feet as well. Like our garage floor isn't it literally just winds out to adjust the feet, which helps it get a little bit sturdier. Our garage floor is not like the most ideal flat surface, so that has made it feel a lot more stable. I'm personally not a huge fan of this saddle that's come with it. It didn't feel super comfortable when I was riding on it the other day, so potentially thinking about changing that, but I'll see what the rocket thinks when she's had a go on it as well, because obviously it's got to be right for both of us, and I'm happy to make that sacrifice for my lady. But that's our first impressions, a little look. What were your thoughts, Rocket? Give us the Rocket's first impressions of the new Atom. Are you in love?
No.
No.
Another bike in the house.
Another bike. Well, this isn't necessarily a bike, it's more of a lifestyle. But super excited to get on Zwift, and even more excited to give you the content you have all been waiting for. This legend on Zwift, winning races, taking dubs, well, mainly seeing what her FTP is and seeing how fit she actually is. I think she plays it down, and I've got a weird feeling you're going to be fitter than we think.
I like to use turbo a lot.
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't know what mode she's actually using on the e-bike. But that is the first look at the Wattbike. I've got a couple of sessions that I'm going to hit up on it this week, so hopefully I'll get a better feel for it and I'll be able to show you them sessions and maybe do a bit of a better review in the future. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.